This is an exercise on making simple shapes with the palette knife. I like to do this exercise in as few strokes as possible because when I paint, I like to simplify the painting to where whatever I'm painting is the simplest way I can break it down with as few strokes as possible. Real nice, juicy strokes is what you want. So I've got a circle, a rectangle, triangles, and the thin line. So I'm going to start off with this circle. What I like to do is grab a nice scoop of paint on the knife, and for the circle I'll make a C. Then I'll turn the painting upside down, and I'll complete the C on the other side. So it's using shapes we already know, or strokes we already know, and simplifying it into, or using it to make a circle. So I'll do this a couple times. And when you're doing this, I just practice a bunch. Go ahead and lay out a bunch of these shapes on your board and just try them over and over, because repetition is what makes you good at using any tool. So when you're using the palette knife, the more times you practice, the better you'll get. So I just do this over and over real quick. Just use any colors you want. Usually I use leftover paint from a painting when it's left over. Because it's, you use a lot of paint when you paint with the palette knife. So, you'll have a lot left over. For the rectangle, there's two ways you can do it. Load my knife like this, and I can take just the amount off that's the width of the rectangle and do it like this to where it covered just about perfectly. That's one way to do it. Or the more obvious way, or what seems the way you would do it, is you can just do it from the edges. Palette knife is great. You're holding basically a rule or a straight line in your hand. So it's great for making straight lines like that. So that's two ways to do the rectangle. The triangle is my favorite because it shows how flexible the knife is and how you can use it. So load the knife up like this. You start at the thin point, and as you go down, you bend your knife or flex your knife to get the width of the triangle you need. This is the most fun one to do, and it's the most important really because it shows you how you can flex your knife to get into tight spots. So I like doing that one over and over. It's great practice. That, and let's see, we'll do one more. So this just shows how flexible the knife is and how you can really use it. The straight line, there's a lot of, it's not really the straight line, a thin line is the trickiest. So if you want to do a nice thin line, just make sure you have a nice thin amount of paint on your knife. And you're not painting with the edge of your knife, because if you look here, if I just put the edge down, there's no paint on the edge. The paint is on the belly. So you have to lay it down from the belly of the knife like that. Make sure you're nice, not completely flat, but flat enough to where the paint is. And see, the paint's on the belly of the knife. So if I try to do it from the edge, there's no paint that's gonna come off. You've got to lay down the belly of the knife like that to get that nice thin line. And that is my demo for how to use the knife and get different shapes.